SCP-173. SCP-173 has been for a long time the face of the SCP Foundation. If you're familiar with SCPs at all, you've no doubt heard of 173. However, what you may not be familiar with is SCP-173's origin, where he was in fact a god capable of conquering portions of the universe and universes. Now, this is an origin story that's actually broken up into about 5 or 6 different tales. This first tale involves SCP-682, the hard-to-kill reptile. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's a reptile that's extremely difficult to kill. No matter what you do, it just regenerates and overpowers you. Now, SCP-053, whom is a small girl that, she is immune to damage. You can damage her, but once you do so, you will immediately suffer a consequence. You'll have a heart attack, or your mind will snap, or something bad will happen to the person who attacks her, and then she just heals. So she has a good relationship, you could say, with SCP-682. They are friends in a sense. So the first tale starts out with her being moved to his cell, and they're doing some talking, and they're giving each other names. 682 tells her his true name, and then he gives her a name. And then she hops on his back, and they breach containment, and then they go to SCP-354, I believe is the number, which is the red pool. Now, this red pool, in a nutshell, you go inside this red pool, you pop up in another dimension. I don't know if it can go to like multiple dimensions or just the one, but yeah, so they go into this pool and they come out in another dimension, and in this other dimension there's some weird stuff. At one point in one of the stories, they run into SCP-303, which is the doorman. If you're familiar, SCP-303 is basically just a jump scare that waits behind a door. You go to open it, that thing pops up and gives you a heart attack. Anyways, at one point they meet up with him, and he's working on some kind of machine. It's not super important right now. It will be touched upon later. Anyways, skip ahead a bit. 682 winds up getting into a fight with some kind of creature from the dimension they're in now. And I couldn't exactly find out what the creature was. It was some gray, tall-ish thing. But yeah, he got into a fight with these creatures, and one of the creatures bit the girl, which then the creature died because that's what happens. But SCP-682 kind of went berserk and went over there to protect her, and he killed a lot of those things. And you got to remember here, wherever they are, whatever dimension they're in, 682 is a very powerful creature. So for these other things to be able to fight him and to be able to stand their ground against him is pretty impressive. Now, one of the things that happens with when SCP-682 meets up with 303 is 682 tells 303, I want to go back to our world. 303 says that's not possible, and then 303 gives 053, the small girl, some weird egg-shaped clock thing that when she needs it, she smashes it on the ground, and then it's kind of confusing what happens, but she is hospitalized in a sense, but not put in like a modern hospital that we think of somewhere else. And she sees a version of herself when she's older and a version of herself when she's really, really old. Now, there is an intermission. For some reason, don't ask me why. Anyways, in this intermission, SCP-682 with 053 riding him, they are popping through dimensional portals and stuff, and they wind up in 173's cell. And they promptly shit themselves, or at least 682 does, and 682 immediately forms armor around its eyes, and then does not blink, obviously. And then he tells 053, keep your eyes on it, and then it breaks through the cell and it takes off running. Now, if you're not super familiar with this, at one point, SCP-682 was placed in 173's cell, and SCP-682 was extremely scared, and it would not stop staring at 173, which is what you have to do. It would not blink for several days, and so they shot out its eyes with sniper fire, at which case it formed more eyes. And I believe at one point 173 did get to it and broke its neck, which it then recovered. But the important thing here is that SCP-682, being as powerful as it is and as unstoppable as it is scared of 173. That means that 173 is something much more powerful than what it is now, just this neck snapping statue. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, at one point, SCP-682 and 053 wind up at a carnival. At that time, SCP-993, I believe is the number, which is Bobble the Clown, attacks the girl. And that's when she breaks the egg, and something bad happens to the clown because it decided to fuck with her. Then you are given a report where some Foundation agents showed up, found the clown hung by its ankles, and if I remember correctly, it's like bloody and beat up with some broken bones too. It also does not have the cognito affix it normally has, which is it knocks people out who view it, and then when they wake up, they're murderous and they're rampageous. Rampageous? That's not a real word. They're murderous, they want to fuck shit up, they just want to kill everybody, and yeah. Okay, let's keep moving. Now, getting to the final tale in this origin, it starts out, SCP-682 is in a forest, and there's lots of things flying around. Now, this thing, whatever it's called, starts with an S, has a link. When you click that link, it takes you to this SCP. This SCP is a box that you, when you proceed to open it, it gives off a ticking sound, like kind of like a bomb ticking, tick, tick, tick. And people who are about to open it stop, and they're like, I don't want to open this. They kind of panic, and so nobody ever opens it. There can only be one O5 member aware of this at any given time, and there's some other precautions involved with this box. So whatever's inside this box is flying around, where 682 is, right? Now, 682 suddenly gets wind of 173 god entity's men. It's called Koitern, so from here on out I'm going to call Koitern. So it gets wind of Koitern's men, and it immediately goes into hiding, and it's scared. It's scared of just his soldiers, mind you, and this, once again, this is 682. So it's hiding from just Koitern's basic soldiers, okay, and it's thinking of its wife and its kids back at home and its family while it's hiding and scared. Now, 682 is assuming Koitern is planets away, far away, and cannot hurt him. But it appears he was wrong, because he realizes something and he starts panicking, and as he is panicking, hairline fractures begin to appear in the reality he's in. Now, what does that mean? Well, you tell me. A hairline fracture in reality, I don't know. I guess the reality you're in is like going to crack and leak everywhere, and you're done. That's my theory, because that would explain why 682 is the only one of its kind to our knowledge, yet it has apparently a wife and kids and brothers and sisters. And not only that, but Koitern wiped out 1/3 of this thing's population. Okay, so there were a lot more of these 682 creatures at one point in time. Somewhere out there in the universe there's more of this, but 1/3 is wiped out, which we now know. And they could have possibly all been wiped out. Now, I stand by the theory that SCP-682 is the last of its kind, which is kind of sad if you think about it, but I don't feel too bad for it because it wants to kill me. The reason I say this is because Koitern wiped out 1/10 of the multiverse. 1/10 of the that's a pretty big deal. Now, I know some of you are going to be saying, well, what about the Scarlet King? SCP-682 is a child of the Scarlet King. This doesn't make any sense. Now, you gotta remember, guys, there is no canon in the SCP universe. There is only your head canon. So, if you don't like this whole SCP-682 being the last of its kind, it was part of a big family, wife, kids, all that good stuff, and you'd rather it be the child of the Scarlet King, then go right ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a kick-ass origin story, too. Personally, I like the origin that 173 is a god because of the fact that one, SCP-682 was so scared of it, but two, I like the idea that a lot of the SCPs out there are fractions of much more powerful entities, and these SCPs being capable of what they are just in this small fraction, you could only imagine how powerful this fraction would be when added to the whole original thing. But anyways, everyone, that is the godlike origin for SCP-173. Like I said, if you don't like it, throw it away. Doesn't even matter, man. It's all up to you and your head canon. But I think it is a pretty cool origin. I think it's much better than it was a man who didn't like to be looked at, or it was something made by Are We Cool Yet. I think this is the coolest origin for such a cool and well-known and feared SCP. But anyways, that's all I got to say on that. Let me know down below what you think of this origin, what you think of these SCPs, what you think of my video. If you like it, you can hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more stuff like this, feel free to subscribe because there will be more. And have a great day.